Oh well. Oh well, oh well. Oh well. I don't even know how to start stuff like this. But hey, let's just do it. I have a list, I have a notepad, I have sticky points, whatever you call them. I'm ready. So, what is this? What is this stream? What is this guy talking about? What is this game? Didn't even see it on the stream. Well, this is the game I play in the back, in my off time. I always play games. It's pretty annoying. I should totally play more games than one in the background. But anyways, as the title suggests, this is gonna be a sorta, scuffy podcast about the game and its problems. And you can see already on the screen, it's linked. There's a video. I took most of the ideas that I had and written down from this. Wait, what is the Slate stream in a disgusting old man face? I just felt like doing something different. Get that old man face off the screen, okay. Anyways, without any further distractions, this is a talk about Dragalia Lost. Wow, what a innovative super streamer. Talking about a game that's as relevant as Diablo 3. In any case, I urge you to check out that. If you ever played Dragalia Lost, check out that link up there. This thing here, right here. This is another podcast, so this is a podcast response to that podcast, which is another entire thing by itself. We're gonna ignore that, Inception, but they brought up really good points, and I want to talk about this. I did try and order as many as good as I can, so while I talk, we don't have that problem with consistency. Is the word. No. Yeah, Vic. Yeah, just watch Nems. Just watch Nems. I mean, if it disturbs you that much, give me a second. Here. So. Anyways, ho ho ho. Merry Christmas, everyone. And this is the talk about this video game. So. You probably, for the person that's here and for the people that want to listen to this without any context on the air, probably not the stream and probably not the video that you wanted to click on. But if you do have it, I can just skip to the problems. I don't want to explain what's up with the game, what the game is about and stuff like that. Anyways, I'm bad at podcasts. I am not focused. I just say random stuff. Anyways. And this is a live stream podcast. Something mind-blowingly stupid. I have no script either. I should talk about the problem. First layout is as it follows. We talk about the Dragon Trials, we talk about the Omega Raid, we talk about Glio, Gala Clio, yeah, which people dub as Glio, just for the super plebeians like me who didn't know that. Weapons, we talk about those a little bit, the game in general, and how you can make this game a bit better. So let's first start off. Dragon Trials. The one thing I have to say about this is, boy, the tryharders, the sweaty tryharders in this Dragon Trial are they're ridiculous. They're going overboard with the super tryharding. Tell you. I guess it's fine because you want to finish that game, you want to beat it and stuff like that, and you want to do it as efficiently as possible. But that is one of the huge issues in the Dragon Trials, and is tied to, because it is so difficult, there's some sort of elitism working there, and because it is so difficult and people want to brag about this, beating it. They wanna do it as best as they can. So yeah, it is a problem on both sides, I would say, and I find it really awkward. I find it really, not awkward but bad when you try and play a game. You start playing the Dragalia, you're feeling good, doing some trials, and then people just kicking you out or leaving the lobby. The lobby gets closed because you're not picking the right people, not having the meta units. This is stuff that the game itself promoted towards this point, which is another issue. Not only the people do all the mistakes in Dragon Trials, or cause the issue with it in general, outside of playing it and having fun with it. The second part is just too difficult. I mentioned it a little before, I will just say it now again. But you're gone, Playing through expert already is disgusting. I hate it. It's not fun. It is just it's just a thing that doesn't really reward you either, because a major point that was put into this link here, into this video, into this podcast, that's better than mine, because mine is not really a podcast. Anyways, in this podcast they brought up that they worked on the elemental weapons, the 5-star elemental weapons, for how long, how knows, with those iron quadsirium bars. I have no idea what they're called. I played this game since beginning. Don't have an idea. Those bars, obsidian bars, just call them. And they worked on the elemental weapons, and now they are useless. Pretty much, because the new weapons are now the dragon trial weapons, which are now stronger. This is really stupid. This is completely, utterly stupid, and ties into the too difficult part, because the problem is you need those weapons in order to you need the dragon trial weapons in order to play the dragon trials on expert and master. But the problem is, in order to get those weapons, you need to beat one first. And if you don't do this day one, everyone is gonna be angry at you because you don't have the weapons. Or at least they're gonna look at you really strangely and say, this guy doesn't have those weapons. It's not looking too good for him. I mean, alternatively, you can also use the weapons from the void battles that you can grind, but usually people would like to see the dragon trial weapons on the dragon trials that you cannot get while this is just a huge cluster duck. I have no idea what they thought of doing it like that, but hey, this is just how it goes. Yes, and a huge issue that this expert and master trials are too difficult for the general public like me. I mean, I did claw my way through expert, but how I did it is, and how I perceived it would be done, is that you take the content slowly. You don't want to go through the content like a crazy madman. You're just gonna take it easy, and if you want to whale through it, then that's on you. You want it to be fastly done, and then you don't get to complain that there's no content, which is a tight issue for later. It's both of them. Lack of content and whales is a bit tight. Anyways, yeah. While I've been stuck trying to do the expert missions and failing miserably on pubs, and succeeding to a certain degree but still failing really hard, I mentioned it's not fun. It's just you throw it there, you spit it out, and it's just there. What the heck? The reward is a marginally better weapon, so it gets power creeped in the next season. It's just It's just that's how World of Warcraft worked, or World of Warcraft retail works. That you know, you go through a dungeon, you beat the boss, the world boss. You know, I didn't play World of Warcraft. I just take the knowledge from Asmongold streams and try to make as much sense as possible and apply it to this game. So, anyways, you're gonna go through those dungeons, beat the bosses, get the weapons, and then by the next patch or by the next expansion, it's gonna be all outdated. That's the same thing right now. It is in a year difference, I have to say. You know, they good job. You didn't power creep your weapons until 1 year. That's good, but still, it's just disgusting. It is really disgusting to see. You know, oh boy, you know, you worked on those for a year now, and you know now they're worthless. Let's try do something new. Do something new. Spitting on you. They're spitting on you. Anyways, next point. I'm talking too much. The Dragon Trial standards are barren, is what I wrote, and I do have to agree. You know, the problem is, if you have too much stuff to do, the community is gonna get split, so everyone is just doing the other thing. But usually it's going to, you know, all the people that not try hardened barbarians or try hardened whales are going to the experts and master missions. So, you know, all that's left is the standard missions, which are now occupied by really bad people. And you know, you might say, oh, wait a minute, I have a friend in mind. He's pretty good. You know, he's pretty new, pretty good. Yeah. I mean, in my experience, I get to play standard. I was you know, I was a big boy there. I'm really proud of myself, but boy, oh boy, those people are you know, how it was in the beginning. You know, now that all the try-harder people are on expert, you know, all that's left is standard. This is where the plebeians are, or you know, if they want to do it. Usually if you're really casual, you just leave it there. You just, no, I'm not gonna do standard. It's not gonna benefit me. And you know, truth to be told, for most of the content, it's not end game. It's pretty fine. You don't have to do standard for casual level. And I do say, you know, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like, I don't mind if you don't do the dragon trials, and if they are barren now because expert gives more than standard. But it is gated a lot worse. You know, at the very least on standard, you have those units. You can use whoever on Midgard. You can use whoever on Mercurial. You can use you know, just certain people on Brynhilde, but it was still fine. You only use Glio on Jupiter, which is another issue for later. But you know, and I've never did Zodiac. I have no idea how Zodiac works. Because, you know, I take it slow. I don't want content to be rushed into my face. Adrenaline, man. Adrenaline poor. That's how usually a game dies. If it gets too much content too fast, or it gets even difficult. And, you know, they try to make it more difficult. They try to make it more, you know, more work. Do you have to work more for that in order to do this? And this is really difficult. But after you're done with this, a year later or a month later, we're gonna add another one. Yeah, this is, you know, it's just not my thing. I take it in my own pace, and I would urge people to do the same thing. You know, if you want to do it, if you want to do it, you know, slowly, just do it slowly. But sadly, you know, as it comes, the last or the recent thing that happened in this game was an expert time trial thingy, and that, you know, that was kind of rushed, so people had to do it really quick, which is stupid. You know, you don't want to do this to your own game. Most of the people will just run off salty, not because they're not getting those good heroes, but because it is really, you know, salt inducing. I would not like to play this game, you know, after failing 100 times. Who am I kidding? I would still do it. I'm a crazy man. But anyways, it is, you know, this is counter-argumenting my point by taking it slowly, because you can't take it slowly, because no, you know, all those goodies are delivered through timed content, which is, you know, a bad point, I really have to say. I didn't care for the time trial. I only got one, and it was a tier 8 or something. I didn't even care at all. I had, you know, that was fine. Oh, it's fine. Do what they want. I wanted to take it slowly, but you know, people all needed to be fast and new content as fast as possible, and you know, something I can't support. So, yeah. What I wrote here too after that is just memorization, and that ties to like a lot of issues tying together to a big knot of problems. But in general, like, memorization is not too bad if it is not, you know, it is not a freaking grind to get there. You know, you have to die a lot of times in order to see what the next thing is. Oh, I'm gonna do this thing, now I'm dead. Okay, what's happening after that? I'm gonna do this, and now I die again. Because the thing that the memorization part is tying into is the problem that you die in one hit. You don't survive anything in this game. Those Dragon Trials are meant to be your glass cannons fighting against, you know, God itself with 2 million HP. You die in one hit. They touch you. You're gonna get shot on the pubs. What the heck? You got hit? You got hit? Yeah. Memorization is not too bad if you can somehow practice it. A, or if B, you don't get punished for trying to memorize it. And you can't tell me that you can just go to the prelude or to the beginner's thing, because the beginner's thing is different from the master's thing now. Which, you know. If you wanna practice masters, you can't do it. The prelude doesn't give the same attack patterns than the master one. You know, a problem that they solved suddenly is a problem again, because they thought it would be smart to make masters really difficult and different. There's no practice mode. I wish there was a practice mode to make it easier for you to just learn it, because no one joins or no one wants to join a practice mode. Unless you specifically search for it, which is, you know, few and far in between, and the bar where you can search the lobbies is pretty small. You can only see up to 5 or 6 things. You can restrict it. That's a good part, but you know, it is still rather restricted. So yeah, just memorization for the Dragon Trials wouldn't be as bad if you didn't die. I did write there on the next one, time trials and pay to win gates. I have to say that, you know, I'm free to play through and through. Have not spent any monies on the you know, on anything. I'm a free boy, and I have to say that Masters is probably the one thing I can't do at all. It is not possible for me to do Master Trials, because you know, you need augmentations on your people, and you have to have a lot of money to change it constantly. Or at least change it once back to the people that actually need it, and you know, and then you can change it back to your favorite people. I don't like that. It is tough. It is tough with the augmentations. Augmentations used to be a fine addition, but the problem now is that, you know, augmentations are now a necessity. There are a lot of issues I have to push down, because we only talk about Dragon Trials, but this thing is a exploding issue. Anyways, yeah, Masters, I can probably confirm it. If you are really good at the game, and with really good I mean you're really persistent, then I can say Masters is something you can do even as a free to play. But you know, me as a half thing, you know, half casual, half trial boy, I'm not able to get there. It is way too difficult. Yeah. And yeah, this one that ties to the other problem. It's over if one is gone. Run's done. It's same thing with if you get hit, you're dead. The run's done. Oh man. Yeah, if there's a, I don't know how that happened, but there's a lot of connectivity issues with the game, and you know, if someone gets disconnected, it is over. The AI is not smart enough to do anything. The AI is just sitting there getting hit by you know, one of the super clean mechanics of the you know, Hybrid Hill, is Super Crimson Flare, and he's dead. And reset. You know, that's something you just have to live with, I guess, but you know, is really frustrating when you try and doing it, and you lose connection in the last 20 minutes, 20 seconds of the fight when you're almost done, or when you lose connection in the middle, or when you lose connection in the beginning, or it's always an issue. And this is not making it easier for you that every mistake is already straining your mentality a lot already, and this is not gonna help a lot, sadly. I wish the game would I don't know, push, make it easier. Make it easier. Anyways, and the last issue is we have all been waiting for it, the meta. The meta is probably one of the most killing things, the thing that kills my motivation to play games the most. Is if you don't use that guy, you're out of here. You're out of here. And I didn't know that they would make High Jupiter based on what they would based on how the people clear it with Glio and stuff, and make it even harder. I didn't realize it until people actually said it in this podcast that's linked up there. So boy oh boy was I surprised. I was incredibly surprised that they actually thought it was smart to balance it based on the best people. If I learned one thing, or the best performances, if I learned one thing is, if I learn one thing about League of Legends, Overwatch, and the likes, you don't balance based on the best performance. It makes the game really boring because a lot of things are just plain bad. The pro players, if pro players ever pick games up, like if anyone ever thought of a competitive pro league Dragalia lost, you're gonna see the craziest stuff. And if you balance it around that, most of the content is gonna be unreachable for casuals. I guess League of Legends and Overwatch are different things because it's a team fight thing. It's not an AI thing. Also, it is a little different in that case, but I would still say it does apply that you don't want to balance it, or at the very least you don't want to balance entirely on the best performances. It just makes it so you have a game now for elitism. Which this was the first problem I talked about in Dragon Trials. Happens. And that is what you promote if you try to make it as harsh as possible. And that is also a problem with gacha games in general, that they give big rewards to people that play the game hardcorely. They give those good rewards for the people that spend a lot of time playing those games, which is stupid. You don't, if you give rewards, give it to everyone. Generally, I would say. Don't make it for like the richer get richer mentality and the poorer don't get anything. It doesn't work. If you want to give them rewards, that's fine. Like there has to be an incentive, but at the same time, it is gone potential that you could have ignited the common community, because there's so much stuff you get that you don't get. And just the thing is, it works on a non-monetized game, giving an incentive like a priced items, really rare or useful items. It works on a non-monetized game, but in gacha games it doesn't work at all because you can just buy it. There is no need. Like the hardest content, the problem is now right now the hardest content is whale gated. There's a gate with a big whale on it, and the rewards are something whales don't even need, because you need all those stuff to get up there to begin with. So when you reach the highest tier of performance, or the highest tier, all that you get is just more useless items. which is another thing that is a problem for Wales, and another issue that I didn't even like. There's so many things I can talk about, and it's like almost half an hour. We only talked about Dragon Trials. By the way, I'm done. That's all the problems. You know, if you say forehead, that's not a problem, then boy, you're pretty, you know, pretty strong. You're a pretty strong person. So there was something that they pictured that they mentioned in Omega raids, which is, you know, Omega raids were cool. For the single player part was, you know, was for them a bit better for them than the multiplayer part, because, you know, you don't have to depend on four people with 9 stupid AIs. You just have to depend on you yourself, that is, you know, stupid or smart, to 3 stupid AIs. It's a bit more manageable. And I have to say, I did finish Omega raids on both the Nyxes and the you know, Big Dude and Nyx. Kronos raid, I think, was it? I did finish both of them, and I have to say that my single player experience, apart from those guys, seemed to be a lot worse. I hated the AI. You had just like the thing is, I don't like if the issue of a game or the difficulty in the game is that, oh, you know, your AI is so bad that he dies in one hit, which is another issue that, you know, Omega Raid shares with trials and difficult endgame content in general, one shots. Yeah, I don't know. It is just, this was the reason why single player, at least the Kronos raid, broke me and Nyxes to a certain degree. It's because most of the stuff one-shots you and you can't control your AI, so you have to move them around, but they don't follow you because you're too close to the guys. Like, this is not a difficulty. This is not something innovative. It is an issue made from the game that you have to solve too. It is like if you had to press A and D to walk forward in a video game, by, you know, with also pressing W. It's not making it harder, it just makes you do more. No, that's not fine. It's not fun. In general, the premise is pretty interesting, that you practice for the single players to practice for the multiplayer. So, you know, technically, if you do the single player, you can do the multiplayer as easily as that, because everyone knows how to do it. But I had it multiple times that on the multiplayer raids, those people didn't know his stuff. They just die. They just stand in the fist of pain and just let themselves get hit. I have no idea. I have no idea what how it was so different, because you can't unlock multiplayer unless you get single player through, which is, you know, really interesting as a concept. That you just have to practice, you have to do it yourself, and then you can join others to suffer with them. It's cool. And yeah, too bad. It just doesn't feel, you know, it should have been like that, but it doesn't feel like that. And the last point, Omega raids are over in less than 3 minutes. I talk about a lot of stuff. I can compromise it. It's a rare boost. Why is it not optional? And people thought that, you know, people say it wasn't, you know, it wasn't optional. I had a hard time, and I have to agree, I had a hard time. I had no rare boosts at all. Not a single one. I got one rare boost after I finished the multiplayer run on both. After I was done with the game kindly gave me crit damage. So you didn't really need it, but by God, by dear God, this is like a low chance to drop, because getting it on the after you're done with those raids is not fun at all. I would say, you know, I don't want to speak about improvements already, but if they ever implement rare boosts again, it is something that I would like to see being earned, being a tradable thing. You trade it in the shop instead of, you know, you can choose the insignias, you can choose the golden crystals, you can choose whatever. You can instead choose rare boosts you can buy. You're sacrificing a little bit of your resources and then having an easier time. And in general, that you don't need rare boosts in order to finish them. Like, make it so you have a plenty of time to beat them, even without the rare boosts. Like, rare boosts should never be something that you have to work on. Like, that's what rare boosts are for. They're rare, so it's nice to have, and you see an output, you see, wow, a lot of more damage output, really cool. And it should stay like that. The same way augmentations were supposed to be. And, you know, it spirals down into nothingness, I guess. Well, after we're done with the raids, the hardest content that was out there in Dragalia Lost, which is Dragon Trials and Omega Raid. Now we have to talk about Leo. A lot of people complain about her, I think. I have no idea, you know, I'm pretty much in my own bubble, so I don't care. But, you know, I do have to agree that for Jupiters, you just have to take one with you. Again, for people that just, you know, don't know what I'm talking about. Who's Cleo? Gala Cleo is a special unit that got introduced in the 4th Gala? I have no idea. Gala's, you know, the Gala banner. And she is a bit, you know, just a little bit too strong, you know, just a little bit too strong. From a point two, from 1 to 10, she's a 10. So she broke all the content for the Shadow team. With the aforementioned, they balanced based on the best performance, and you know, there goes the Shadow content. All of it is now Glio. You know, she's not even a problem. It's the same thing as in Merlin in FGO, to a certain degree. Never mind. They did balance it close to. They did balance it to make sure that, you know, even if you do use Merlin, you're gonna have a harder time. Never mind. They thought it would be a good idea to do it the same way as in FGO, and you know, on paper it sounds pretty good, but the problem is, you know, all the people, which is a 90% of the people now, can't really do those, and you can't choose a friend. And in opposed to FGO, you can use a friend, Merlin, so you can do the hard content even with you know, weak people, as long as you're dedicated enough and you have a Omega brain and super high IQ, you can do those. But it costs a lot of commitment without Merlin, or double Merlin, or triple Merlin. I have no idea. You're the crazy one, not me. Anyways, yeah, but it doesn't work really in Dragalia Lost, because you don't get another one. And now that you are forced to use a unit in a trial that's always available that is limited and never gets a raid up ever again. That's stupid. That is something that I didn't expect from people to just release and say that, oh, it's fine, you know, oh, it's fine, it's just fine. Yeah, I have 20 of them. I have 20 Cleo. The other dude has 50. You know, I sometimes have a feeling that those developer accounts just have every single hero, so they don't even think about the consequences. They just say, oh yeah, just use this person. What? You don't have her? What? Really? I have all of them. Developer accounts, man. They should honestly, if you need playtesters, or if developers need to work on a game, they should totally do an account without any benefits. You know, they have to have one without benefits. And if they really need to, they can have an emergency account or multiple emergency accounts where they can get to play with everyone. But you know, I feel like that they just have everything, and then they feel like, oh, it's not a problem. It's pretty interesting that this is an issue of all things, that they don't realize how limited all of it is. But yeah, she is just sitting there, gatekeeping shadow content. And I would say she's not a problem in general. I don't mind Glio at all. You know, if you like her, I don't mind. If you hate her, I don't mind either. If you use her, who cares, man? Like, you play your game, I play my game, you know? Which is sadly tied to co-op, so, you know, we got to see each other. So, yeah. And I have to say, it wouldn't be an issue if they didn't balance it based on her. Now that she's center stage, a lot of people have an issue. The same thing as in FGO. A lot of people have issue with the content because now that they balance it around Merlin, and a lot of people don't have it. At least it's, you know, diminished by a little bit by the fact that you can choose a friend Merlin, but still, this is still an issue. I don't understand why people would do that. Anyways, that's all I have to say, honestly. I don't mind her at all. She's not a problem. The developers made her a problem, and we get a common theme that a lot of issues are made by the game itself. You know, the game made the issues, or the developers behind it made those issues, not the people, not the person itself. I don't care if they release yet another broken hero, as long as they don't balance it around it. Ha! Like, it's stupid. It's really stupid. And by the way, just to redirect a little bit, I did talk about meta a little bit on the Dragon Trials, but in general, it's applying to every single trial. You have to use the best performing units. So yeah, if Glio is not the issue, then a lot of people will complain about wedding Elysienne because she's twice on Mercurial. She's twice there. All right. Emma's there. No, Emma's in Midgar. It's Emma. At 4-star, it's that will probably never see a raid up again. It's a 4-star in a band. She's always there, but the rate of getting her is pretty low depending on your luck. So yeah, a lot of people they will just go around and complain about other ones because all of them are in the matter. So yeah, Glio is a poster, is the poster figure of the issue, meta units, and power creep and brokenness. But she's not the worst thing that happened. If I have to take an example, in Fire Emblem Heroes, Reinhardt, who used to be an issue all the time, and then came the Ira matter, and suddenly it was Armors, and and Armor since then persisted, pretty much, and then they ramped up really fast. The best example I can give you, it's not even Ira because she lasted a long time. Is Surtur. Surtur is a, if you guys don't know, Surtur is an armor that's I don't even know how to explain this. He's an armored unit that is generation 3, which is, if I have to quickly explain what it means, is generation 1 is, those units can only be 5k might strong. Generation 2 is, now units can get up to 6k might strong, and generation 3 is 7k might. For a quick explanation what I mean with generations. So Surtur, being a generation 3, got power creeped in the same year that he got introduced by Gen 4. That got introduced, like, usually you have it that every year there's gonna be a new generation that you have to apply for, but Surtur is gone. He's gone in the same year he got introduced by generation 4, which got introduced in the same year as generation 3. So imagine that you have a banner where you have 7 without any weapons or anything, or with just a basic 4-star weapon, a basic dragon, you get a 7k might hero. And then 5 months later you see another hero with the same weapon, but now he has 8k with compared with base dragon, 4-star base 4-star dragon, base 4-star elemental. It is ridiculous. Fire Emblem Heroes is a lot worse. It's a lot worse. So I would say, Glio is like, you didn't even play the worst games, bro. You didn't even play the worst games. Oh, speaking of weapons, I just touched it in, and I did say it on the Dragon Trials that huge issue with weapons is outclassed by new weapons. Is, like I said, you work over it for 1 year and then it's gone. Sadly that I already said it already on a Dragon Trials one, so I can't even put this on. I can't even talk about this topic because my 5-head brain already talked about this enough. But if you want it concise and time-stamped, just repeat it. The effort you gone using or trying to make elemental 5-star weapons is now gone because you have to make dragon elemental weapons that you can't dismantle. So, if they ever do something new, you can't get the resources back. And they plan on making even more weapons bringing out in the next collaboration. Oh boy, weapons. Nah, something for later. Just remember, I have a lot of ideas in how to make this game good, and this will hopefully be also solved if anyone listens to this. So now this part is good. We talked about the hardcore stuff. Now we can finally talk about the simple things. The game in general. The game in general is a pretty fine game, but the problem is, again, this is not a problem only for DL, it is a problem for a lot of gachas, is that grinding is an integral part of a gacha game. So, what does it have to do with anything? So, I just pull in Dragalia's Dragon Trial Expert, for example. It is pretty much a grind. After you're done memorizing it, and the hardness of the content is gone, now you just have to succeed 19 times if you're unlucky. Because a 5-star dragon weapon costs 19 resource points. I will just blatantly say it so everyone can somewhat understand it. And you can get 1 to 2 to 3, I think, 1 to 3 resource points based on when you finish a trial. RNG. So you have to do it 19 times. I already told you it's pretty boring, pretty annoying, and that's an issue. They try and make content out of grinding, and grinding in general as a concept is not fun, not engaging, and like in general. I'm not saying the outcome, what the outcome, what about the journey along the way. I just rule it out. Just grind in general is a huge issue. You can't rely on it to be consistently fun. People will go away from it. Probably not whales. I have no idea how the mind of a whale works. They probably don't care at all as long as they like the units, which is fine. But still, it's like making grinding even more monotonous is something that you should try and avoid. But at the same time, if you don't make those grinds long and difficult and annoying, the content will be gone in a second. So that is sadly a vicious cycle you can't really break as it is, and only the most innovative person can do it, because the game industry is not going to change that fast, or the gacha game industry is not going to change that fast over that. Like, unless there's one person who is really super smart and thinks of a way to make a game loop without grind in it, or without grind as a major component, it's just gonna be an issue for every single game. But yeah, my point is that if you focus for grinding for content, if grinding equals content, it's not gonna end. It's not gonna end well. Like you can sugarcoat grind in all different kinds of colors, like Dragon Trial or Mega Raids or forbidden knowledge book points. I have no idea what the currency for the current one is, but yeah, you can sugarcoat it and call it whatever. It's still a grind. It's still something that doesn't really feel fun. And the rewards these days are fine, I guess. For the common casual, it's pretty fine. I hear that in the podcast that's linked up there. You should totally check it out. It's it's all about the Dragalia Lost Isle 2, by the way. But yeah, from the podcast I hear that those whales, the one whale or one, I just call him whale. He said that the rewards are not, giving him nothing anymore. It's not enough. I have to say, now we see the rift between casual and pro, or not pro, but end game content end game content tryharders a lot, because you see the normal event. You have event A gives you that much, and it's not enough for the whale, and then you have event B, and that's unreachable for the common casual. So the gap is quite big, because the one thing the whales won't do, and the second one the casuals can't do at all. So yeah, that's sadly something to consider, and nothing, like I said, it's all integrated at this point. And yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one I wrote down. Game is leaving people behind. A big example. Let's get this out of the picture. This is probably one of the biggest points. I should do this at the end, but still I want to mention it right now because I wrote it there. I didn't order my points. Game is leaving behind is the same thing as in Epic 7. Or as in World of Warcraft retail. You do content You do it to get the items to be able to stay on top of the current content, just so by the next content wave you're gonna have to work on it again. Like, this is the work. You work for something for now that you already don't, that already had, you have already have a harder time working on the now content, but you do the things, the rewards you get are the things that you get for now, not for later. And that's a huge issue. But what does it have to do with people being left behind? So imagine that we have Bob. We have Bob starting the game out new. He played it for a week. He doesn't have enough time, you know. He has kids to tend to. He's a workplace, and now it's 2 months has passed, and now there are multiple events already over, and suddenly he realizes that all the events are now double the amount of the things that, you know, double the amount of might he needs to do. I just say might, or, you know, level requirement. I would say level requirement is much better to argue with. So now it's just double the amount, and, you know, now he's lost. He can't do it, so he has to grind his way up. But he doesn't, like, this at the same time, will he do it? Probably not, because he doesn't have enough time. So people that feel like being left behind is a reasonable issue with games, because you can't get invested in a game if, you know, if all you work on is gonna be worthless by the next one, by the next content batch. So yeah, I can totally understand it, and it's really apparent in retail World of Warcraft, in Dragalia Lost, and it is apparent in Epic 7. If you need either you need a you know, another game reference, or you need another gacha game reference. I just explained it really quick for Epic 7, the fact that you have so much stuff to do. They released a lot of content in a couple of months, a lot of content, and I gave up playing the game because I don't want to do it. I don't care. But dear God, you introduce more difficulties, you introduce more towers, more trials, more grind places, more world raid missions, and so on and so forth. I'm not gonna stick there. I'm gone. Like, I'm not playing the game. It's stupid. Why would I do that? That's it. That's the same thing. A lot of newcomers will be discouraged for continuing playing the game because it just moves on without you. Because it needs to keep moving on in order to make the whale give you more money. The whale, like, monetization, gacha game monetization is a bad concept. For another time. For another time whenever I do a think tank talk. But in general, you know, apart on all of that, it is a bad concept. If you keep moving on, you leave a lot of potential customers behind, and short-term gain is not something that can compensate for a long-term gain at all. But people in the industry don't get it. They're not smart enough for that for some reason. I don't know. They studied all of that, but have no idea why they don't do that. Probably because of shareholders and stuff like that. Anyways, that's big brain talk for a game about a game, you know, about something that's not even, you know, has nothing to do with Dragalia Lost in general. But just leave it there behind. Games leaving behind is a really big issue, more than you know. The time wasting in DL is too big. Yes, gotta agree. And, you know, alongside with, we can take Bob example again. He has only maybe like 2 hours per week to play the game. 2 hours per week he can only log in. So the problem is, a lot of stuff you do in DL takes a lot of time. Practicing for Dragon Trials, doing the daily missions, grinding the events, you know, praying that you get good stuff, and, you know, possibly visiting obscure sites to see something entirely different from the game, and, you know, reading a book about a lot of people in lore about this game, because I'm a lore boy. I really like lore in games. I really love lore, and Dragalia Lost has really good lore, I gotta admit. You know, if they do a lot of things wrong, but at the very least they have good lore. And I don't mean lore in quotation marks, okay? So yeah, Nothing more to said and done. I already explained it on the leaving people behind. That's tied. Time wasters. You don't want the game to, like, people think, or game developers think, that the longer a person is tied to a game, the more he's gonna invest in it, which, you know, makes sense. But how many people did you deter with that? You gotta always question yourself, how many people did you deter with that mentality? Obviously you have you know, a couple of people that will invest a lot of time, but at the same time, how many people did you lose? For every one person you gained, you lost 10 people, perhaps. Potentially lost 10 people. I would even proudly proclaim you lost 10 people, because, you know, casual is the main player base. No one, no, even me who went really try hard in this game, doesn't like being try hard all the time. You lost a lot of things in order to make a time waster out of the and also you know, a storage waster, but it's a story for another time. So yeah, and one of the biggest issues, which ties to a lot of other issues. Oh boy, I love that. I love that all the issues that this game has is tied to one another. Wasting resources on a hero hurts you. What does that mean? If you don't use meta heroes and you level up someone else, you're gonna lose those resources. For a whale, that's not a problem. I hear it, you know, reference from the podcast, you know, one whale had 800k, so he didn't have anything to do with those. But for the casual player, what does he do with those things? He can't waste it on units that you barely know if it's good or not. You have to wait and see if it's good, and then you waste those things on it. You know, it's like, you can't even use your favorite people in this game that's about story and lore and liking people. Gacha games is all about liking people a lot, and you can't use them at all on endgame content. Like, at least in FGO, which I have to bash on for the gameplay, but at the very least you can use those people. You can freaking use. You have to go bouncing away for those people. You have to. You know, you have to make a lot of work to make them work. But you can use them. In comparison to this game's end game, you can't, because it's all tied to best performance. This is stupid. It's stupid. Like, for a game that plays about personality, taking away its personality. Wow, you're good. You have to use people you don't like, potentially. You don't, and you can't say it as an argument. Oh, you might just start liking them, and, you know, after doing a grind 50 times, you don't, you know, you don't start liking them more and more. It's gonna get less. So yeah. So it's, you know, with that said and done, 50 minutes I talked about the problems of Dragalia Lost. Here are the things that I think could make this game better. So, first things first, remove the best performance barrier. I call it like this because I don't have a term for it. Like, make trials that are difficult, but not difficult because you have to pass a damage check. That's lazy. Straight up lazy. Or hero check at this point. Make more experimentation with a lot of units. For example, did you have a lot of ailments in the game already? Blindness, paralysis, sleep, freeze, stuff like that. Make those ailments not mainstream ailments. Like, give them more of a variety. Like, give a boss with blindness, or you have to use blindness people, and you don't get to, you know, you lose. The thing is, even if I said that, it's probably not gonna work, since you can use Wormprints to make Gala Cleo work on those blindness runs. And then she's gonna outperform people even without Wormprints. That's painful. Painful to say. But yeah, my generous standpoint still stands. More experimentation. Just try to give more units passage for those trials. More people. Give it ailments you can dodge, so you can use other ones that have ailments for other things in there, and then you can beef them up with Wormprints to give them a lot of damage output. I would say 100%. Give me a second. I lost my point. It was tied to something else, but I wrote it down. We will get there eventually. Oh, it's right underneath. Consecutive battles where you choose units is something that is in Fire Emblem Heroes, a game that no one should play, but people still do. You can do whatever you want with your free time, but I will always urge to not play it. But anyways, this game has a mode called Arena Assault, which you choose 5 heroes from your batch, you fight against an enemy, and then you move on. But you can't use those. Okay, it's 4 units. That is something that would make you force using more variety units, you know. In addition to making the more ailments for those, or dodgeable ailments, more ailment variety or dodgeable ailments, you just make fights where you get a a group of people, you use them, done. No, the next level you don't use them, screw you. Or there's a limit when you can till you can use them again, at the very least, to make not make it too hard on the easy, on the weak players. And if you say that it's skating the new players, just say that if there are no other people in your party, you can just play with them and continue to play with them. If you can't choose 4 more, you don't have to choose. You don't say game over, or you can just keep using them, or you make a decent amount of reward for the minimum amount of requirement for a new player. Like you make it's like comes like a wave. In the beginning, there's a new player and he can only do up until 4-3, for example. 4-3 has the most rewards. Then it drops down for 4, 5, 6 is gonna be awful, and then 7, 8, 9, 10 is having good rewards. It's gonna give an incentive for the new player to play, and an incentive for the loyal player to play, and because he gonna get more rewards in the end, and he can't stop midway. That would be my proposal. Give tip. Give tip. I have no idea what this word was, but yeah, consecutive battles where you have to have 4 people that are locked out after you did the battle would be an idea. It's one of many ideas you can do, but this would be an idea that was stolen. Let mistakes happen. That's a good one. I wrote it down because Dragon Trials are awful and boring, and you die once, you have to repeat, and you have to wait until everyone's dead. Just let mistakes happen. A game's not fun because you do a perfect run. A lot of people like to watch perfect runs because of the sheer amount of dedication a person puts into it. Speed runs, for example, or a no-hit run in Dark Souls is liked for people. They like to watch it, they don't like to do it. That's the thing. I don't want to do a Dark Souls no-hit run. I enjoy the game just as it is. So if you get hit once, just it's fine. It's fine. You get hit once, or fine. Okay, cool. Just make it so you do less damage the less health you have. So at the very least okay, I shouldn't get hit too many times. So my damage output stays good. Something like that. It's probably gonna have a lot of issues in general, having damage dealt tied with HP, but just in general, as an advice, as a little tip, make damage not be lethal all the time. You don't want an assassin meta in League of Legends, because everything, it's not fun to die in one hit. It is just dropping the thing. And you don't want a tank meta either, because you don't want to fight for 5 minutes straight up. which is both issues are in Dragalia lost for some obscure reason, with the enemy being the tank and you being assassins. You don't like being an assassin because you die too fast, or you're some sort of semi-assassin, and the enemy is a freaking tank. No fun at all. So have an end game. It's not gonna be you're not gonna be punished for having an end game. You're not gonna be all people now hate you. A lot of people play games for different reasons. They play this game for lore, they play this game for the general gameplay is entertaining. They play it for the content for some reason. They play it just for the content that appears. And you don't have to give them more incentive to grind more. Just make an end game content. You just say elemental weapons, done. In 2 years we will think of something new, but elemental weapons, done. No more after that. You're gonna be done if you ever do this. And people have, like you get a sense of pride and accomplishment for getting to an end game. I tell you that much. You get a sense of pride and accomplishment for finishing something. You said, for finally I did the facility on level 35. Oh, God bless. It's now I'm super good. And that's good. If you continuously making more content, the problem is now that that pride of accomplishment feeling is gone, because now you say, oh, okay, up to the next one, wait until it gets to level 40, wait until you get level 6 star weapons that you can't upgrade with obsidian bars. I call them like that, and you know what I mean. Level 5 weapon upgrading bars. But yeah, that's now that is the issue. You know, now you start saying, oh boy, next one. That's not fun. That's not gonna like, you see it on retail World of Warcraft. That doesn't result in a resurgence of people playing the game. It resulted in less and less people playing. For the newer people, getting disgusted by you have to grind all of this and then you have to do it again. And for the longer staying people to get disgusted by it because they have to do it over and over and over and over again, which is not fun. Grind in general is not fun. As I mentioned, you do it again and again. It's just at one point you're gonna break. Everyone does. Unless you're a robotnas. Eggnog. I have no idea. You know what I mean. Have it an endgame. Easy thing to do. Endgame. No flaws. I don't know why I typed this, but now I remember. Someone in the podcast I linked up there, I have to reference this all the time. Someday you're gonna watch it, right? Someone said you should do flaws. But this reminds me of those really good JRPG floor mechanics where you go through a dungeon, everything is like a square, and then it's tied in with an alley or with a alleyway, with a you know what I mean, with a big long ding dong. You have a square thing and then it's connected to a big long ding dong, and it's another square. I have no idea what this word is, but anyways. I don't want this to devolve like this. If it's like what they mentioned, or what I also feel like is really good, Diablo. If I do it like Diablo-esque, it's cool. More of a, that's for another one, but more of a interaction, and make the world feel more alive with those flaws. If anything, don't do it square. Don't do squares. Have buffs for fun. That is, what I said about the Emigerates, but I would say it again, just to make it, collected. Just make things for fun. Like those rare buffs, make them for fun. Don't augmentations, make them for fun. Make it so you overkill now. Now the Dragon Trial is too easy for you. It doesn't matter, I don't care. People complain all the time. I would rather have that. That the game is now super easy. Make it as easy as possible for yourself. That's the goal for every gacha game. Make it yourself as easy as possible. Because 80% is grind anyways. All that said and done. Embrace the world, single player, more focus, but not too much. Embrace the world as in make an explorable world. Something that could be akin to both World of Warcraft and Diablo. You have an overworld you can explore with your Uiden, and all those characters. Uden, Oidon, this guy, you call yourself with names attached to it. You can call him Gino, you can call him Fred, you can call him Nimius, reference by the way. You can call him Zeno P4G, who brought me, who gave me the idea to make this in to begin with. Call it however. This guy, you use this guy to explore the world. You see the world as it is. You see it change as well, which is because just to summarize it really fast, you're in a big war with another faction, and you're gonna see the effects of it while going through the overworld, which is really cool. It would give the casuals a place to explore, or a place to interact with the people you summoned with. That would be really cool. Or even make some raids some trials reachable only by the overworld. You go there yourself, which gives you, a feeling of the world being actually connected and alive. You see birds shipping around, you see those soldiers you have trained, there's a wildlife, and then in the next thing you go into a swamp area and there's a cave, and now you see multiple people there, then you decide to go with them in the cave, and now the battle begins. World of Warcraft, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Now we reach World of Warcraft. So that would be really cool to focus more on the story than on the gameplay, because you can only make the gameplay so boy is that hard, boy is that cool. You can only make it so much. Spread your wings. Make hard content not hard because you can wail for it. Do it hard, but not too hard. What do I mean with this? I have no idea, no joke. What I mean is, make hard content, but not for the 1% that's playing those games on the highest tier. Make it hard for the 70%. That is, or 40% that is playing it less casual and more tryhardy. And don't balance it based on waves, because this is gonna chip down more and more, because you're chipping down a big, there's a big glacier, and you're gonna chip down more and more people, more and more. It's gonna melt down because you keep adding more sun. Glacier be more cold, I give more sun, and more people will just leave the whale area, go to casual area, and then to leave game permanently area. So yeah, don't make it too hard is what I mean, and don't whale-gate it too hard. You can make content whale-gate, because that's just how gachas work, but don't make it too disgusting. Come on, dude, have some decency. There. Make augments optional again, which ties in with have buffs for fun. Have them for fun. Have them for making your character feel significantly stronger. And you can see it in the battles that you do, that, oh wow, this guy died in 1 minute instead of 3 minutes. As an exaggerated example. Make fights easier with more variety, ties into the hard content, but what I mean with variety is, which is also here, no damage gate other objectives, is the more variety is now. You see, you have the castle, you have to defend the castle, defend the left and right bridge, which you can, which ties to make AI smarter, as one of the things you could do. Like 2 of your AI partners going to the right, and you and the other AIs going to the left for single player. For multiplayer, you just separate your team. Make it so you have to do different objectives other than kill thing super fast in 5 minutes. You can even keep kill thing. You can take away the time and instead do like kill thing's arm, make his arm feel uncomfortable. And if you do this, the mission ends. Congratulations, you don't have to kill everything, okay? Life is not there to kill it. That's an example for fighting only. That's an example. The other one with the defend the castle is for more variety as to what to do, And you can even make objectives not about fighting at all. You can make it so, 2 people have to occupy an army while the 2 other people are flanking, going around. You have to do jump and run action, stuff like that. You have to reach a certain part, press a button, and then, the boulders falling down. Now the reinforcements are all, I guess, dead. Doesn't really help the fact that I did say you don't want to kill all the time, but hey. Just an example. Or you cut off the path for the enemies to come to your base, or whatever you're defending. That would be cool. Or feed cow, because you need more cows. You can't eat only grass. Stuff like that. More variety. Just give it more variety. Doesn't have to be fighting all the time. Need more dragon types. Why did I type that? Dragon types would be meaning that you can use more dragons. Make the content varied so that, for example, the HP dragons are more viable now instead of being just a gate. Damage not being a requirement for every single battle. I can reference Fire Emblem Awakening for this. For this is rout the enemy all the time. You don't want to rout the enemy. It's like different dragon types are not used because the only thing you care about is damage. So yeah, Make it more variety. For example, a dragon makes you 5% faster, which gives you an easier time to do objective types of missions where you have to push button on far end to push boulder down. You know, a dragon makes you 5% faster or 10% faster and gives you a little bit of damage and stuff like that. Or a dragon gives you a shield for a certain type of ailment that's you usually need a wormprint for. And now you can use different units for those battles. And then a dragon that heals by you dealing damage. But you can't activate a dragon, it's just a passive here. So it's giving you as a hero a stronger thing. But not giving you much combat buffs, it's just gonna give you a more hero buff. A hero thing. You don't turn into a dragon, but you get the dragon bonuses like the dragon skin and dragon regeneration or stuff like that. Would be really helpful. Also, what also would be really cool is what I wrote down there is fluid dragon times. You can decide when to turn into a dragon or not. You have a bar, 15 seconds you can turn into a dragon. You can turn into a dragon instantly or really a lot faster, and then you can deplete the bar a little bit and then you can turn off. But you can't turn into a dragon until you fill the bar up again. Something like that. Would be cool to have. So just a nice tip in general. Not gonna help the game a lot, but this would be cool because a lot of people also complain about you turn to a dragon and it's just, boy, this is just gonna be you need to go away from the dragon really fast. So do you deal more damage? I agree. Damage. Weapon type changes. Easy said. Make weapons do different things. Just tied with damage object. Don't make damage objectives. Make a weapon that gives you an aim protection like a dragon, but to a lesser degree, or something that heals you a little bit. Stuff like that. Just don't make only damage, because you have to go up and up and up. If it's only about one thing, you have to ramp it up more and more and more and more. Otherwise you run out of content. So yeah, try and change the weapon types, change the dragon types, change the objective types, and everything is fine. Communication and both sides. You can give, I think, they did say in the podcast you can give those tips to the people, but at the same time I would say communication in general when you talk to people. I mean, it's those guys are really salty and try hard at times, but in general I would turn it on so you can talk to people. They removed no because it was so negative. Nope. They removed it because it was so negative. Painful. So yeah, more communication would be really appreciated. And that's all I have here. The only points that I can talk about calmly is, don't blame it on the devs. They probably are pushed by the shareholders that are carrying the bags of the big CEOs to push them further. They try their best, and it's really hard to do continuously content because they can't innovate. They are just like YouTubers. You're stuck with what you have to do, and you have to do it all the time. So yeah. And what I still write is Mega Man update. I fear for that now because I didn't listen to this, and this makes me fear the new Mega Man content, the collaboration about Mega Man. I'm really scared about this, and I don't like Mega Man that much, so it's gonna be a big skip for me. And yeah, I did also write down WoW and Diablo are both really good comparisons. Diablo more on a gameplay style value, and WoW is for how the game feels, that you have to band together with people to finish something, or you have to do something really difficult. It is also, you can also say Diablo, that's the same, but in general WoW is more of a group game than Diablo. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I feel like if they went to the more of a direction of give the game more variety, more like you don't have to make everything black and white, red and blue, green and yellow. I have no idea what more colors are contradictory to each other, but yeah, I feel like it's super easy. Just try and make more variety, and also try and go in different directions, and maybe follow the footsteps of WoW a little bit. Not the retail one, the classic one maybe, and Diablo, not the not about the store that you can buy stuff from, No, not that one. Instead, go more of a direction of how the world is built and how the story plays a huge or major role in WoW, and how Diablo has that badass gameplay. That badass cool gameplay that's not gonna tie it down because it's difficult, it's cool, okay? And you have the visual progression by in virtue of having items and weapons, and also by killing things faster. That's all I have to say. If anyone ever watches this, I appreciate you guys. But why do you guys watch this? You must be really bored watching an old man rant about a game that's, like I said in the beginning, as irrelevant as Diablo 3 at this point. But yeah, I hope some things will be changed in the direction that I mentioned. Some things, and I hope the mistakes will be fixed. Oh, by the way, the background, you know, you see it already. I'm a smart boy. This is a video that I just put on loop. And do it on 0.75 speed. I just needed a background, and I don't want to show my face because I'm ugly. Let's stop that. And yeah, I guess I can just conclude this. Thanks for watching. I enjoyed the talk, but now I need a break. I was supposed to play Fire Emblem Fates tonight, but I still need to prepare for that. For the people that, you know, wondering and watching this as a VOD, yeah. I didn't forget about Fire Emblem Fates, but I need some time. And for everyone that's been here for Dragalia Lost, I hope you enjoyed the topics I talked about. I appreciate it if you guys have any more input. I'm not gonna deny anything. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I accept everything. If I'm flawed at something, just tell me. I enjoy those talks. I'm an old man. I enjoy them. And if you liked what I talked about, you can spread it if you want, but I would rather urge you to spread, you know, this thing. I feel like I have a lot to learn about making things as neutral as possible. And those guys, while I don't think like they do it neutrally, but you know, they have a bigger reach. If they get famous, that's fine. And, you know, it's finer than me getting famous. I'm stupid. No joke. I wanna be selfish. I like my self-confidence going down and down. But anyways, yeah, here, big again. Those guys, they also talked about this, and I talked about every point they had, and thought and said what I think about it. A couple of things I disagree on, but usually, or mostly, they are right. They're right. I just end the stream on this. Here, just end the stream on, you know, Glio leading not Uden and Luca towards power creep. That's a good one. Thanks for watching. I'll be off. If there's ever gonna be another think tank, thank the big mountain for not pushing Dr. Klein, Dr. Zero away. He's probably the one I relate to the most. Yeah, the think tank name is from Fallout New Vegas. I need an introduction and a goodbye for this, but yeah. If you ever hear a noise from the big empty from the think tank, you're gonna hear the first words from me. I'll be going back there, and you know, I'll be going back there and experiment on my own brain. See you guys. That's a good.